When I think of Tuscan wine, I think Sangiovese. The grape is synonymous with the great Tuscan reds Brunello di Montalcino and Chianti Classico. However, there is so much more when it comes to this grape. Join me on a journey through one of Tuscany's historic regions in search of great, lesser-known examples of this grape. That all starts right now. It's early in Montepulciano and I'm on the hunt. This town represents the heart of Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, a historic, once noble wine based on Sangiovese. My first stop is De Ricci, and Niccolo shows me around.
I really love this entrance because this entrance explains the meaning of Montepulciano and the meaning of this winery. Wine was the most important things to protect us, in the case of attack of our cities around us, like Siena, Florence, Arezzo, Perugia, Rome also. We hide ourselves inside the palaces. In the palaces we had wineries, and in the wineries we could survive with the wine. Wine is not spoiled by the bacteria. Drunk but safe, we survive in every single war we had in Montepulciano.
A walk to the top of the castle gives way to stellar views.
Working only with Sangiovese, every time we make a tasting we want to let people know that the very deep difference between the Rosso di Montepulciano, Vino Nobile and our crew, the Soraldo Vino Nobile, it is a matter of soil, a matter of sun exposure, a matter of temperature, winds.
The bottom of the castle offers a surprise. Wine is stored in the family crypt.
This wine is my most favorite part because all the winery was made and was built around that stone, Sasso di Montepulciano, the Montepulciano stone. This stone keep Montepulciano. That one, it is the stone considered a treasure of the family because inside that stone there is the cave, the crypt of the family Ricci.
There must have been so many stories that took place here, but I'm on a time crunch, so now it's time to taste. The tasting room looks like a grand ballroom. We start with the delicious rosé made from Sangiovese before moving up to the Rosso di Montepulciano and flagship Vino Nobile di Montepulciano.
It smells like Sangiovese. That's a good thing. Straightforward, honest, good Sangiovese. Sour cherry, fruit, juicy acidity, tannins. Nice stuff.
Next is the Soraldo, the top Vino Nobile di Montepulciano of De Ricci.
Wines can trick you so much. I was a little bit worried on the nose that might be a little bit too oaky, but on the palate you don't taste the wood. Sangiovese, so good.
From a local producer, he has sheep and he has milk and his own pecorino.
All aged cheese and still has acidity. I think the real magic of Sangiovese is maybe one of the most food-friendly reds. So the acidity in Sangiovese just highlights anything with tomato sauce. When I was growing up, you always think olive oil has just a general flavor. But there is such a big difference when you get high-quality olive oil. More grassy, more spicy, it's just more intense.
The Vino Nobiles are delicious, but it's a Bordeaux blend that steals the show for me today.
I know a lot of people poo-poo on French varieties here in Tuscany, but I do think they have a distinctive character. Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Petit Verdot. Yeah, it's pretty damn serious wine. I know I'm supposed to be a purist because I'm a Sangiovese nut, but I feel so guilty because I love Sangiovese so much. But that's really good wine. Really good wine. What you think about the future of Vino Nobile?
There is now a very great co-work between producers that I really hope that this will grow. And many wineries moved a lot. There could be a very interesting future, of course, a future that you must come and taste.
Antinori is one of the most well-known Italian wine families, and they have a winery in Montepulciano called La Braccesca. Of course, the estate is all class. It's the kind of atmosphere that makes you feel good. La Braccesca produces both Vino Nobile di Montepulciano and wines from Cortona. The border of the two regions straddles the estate. Elisa walks me through the vineyards and takes me down to the cellar, where the Vino Nobile is aged differently than the Cortona wines.
Montepulciano is aged in what?
In large cask, big field.
It's a Saturday, and La Braccesca is busy, so the vineyard and cellar tour is quick. But they set aside a private table for me and open the best wines of the estate.
Nobile di Montepulciano.
I've always thought that this wine, not a well-known Antinori wine, but if you like the Antinori style, little roundness, really kind of smooth wine. This is something you should be looking at. Offers pretty good value for money. This Sangiovese. It's a bigger, rounder red, so I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it.
Next is their Maggiolino Vino Nobile, which I think is a great alternative to a more famous Antinori wine.
So I did taste this wine earlier this year for an article I wrote. I recommended it for people that kind of like the Tignanello style. It's about half the price. Really has an Antinori stamp on it. A little sweeter, a little bit more mocha type flavors. Black cherry, sour cherry, black raspberry, silky. Looking for tannins, maybe you want to go somewhere else.
At least it gets me some cheese while tending to other guests.
And I'll never say no to pecorino.
Now time for the Cortona Syrah.
I actually know very little about Cortona Syrah. The wine world is so huge, there's always stuff to learn. Smells like Syrah, a lot of blackberries, a lot of violets, some meatiness. Syrah is a kind of grape that not everybody loves, but once you start liking it, you really start to crave it. For me, very Crozes Hermitage in style, so like value Northern Rhone. It's actually a pretty nice wine. It's not big, bold, and round. It's true Syrah.
And the top Cortona Syrah from La Braccesca, the Bramasole.
So it's got the Syrah flavors with the, if you like the kind of New World Australian Shiraz-y type of body, the bigger body, it's all that in one. It's pretty nice wine. And one thing that I think really separates great Syrah too is the tannins are really chewy. Really, you just almost can chew on them like meat. I know I'm here in the land of Sangiovese, and I love Sangiovese to death, but I have to admit, I like the Syrahs a lot. I think I might recommend the Archello, the basic Syrah for more Syrah geeks, and the Bramasole for more people that want something a little rounder, a little easier to drink. I'm all about the Archello. I think it's really good. Once again, the most expensive wine isn't always the best wine for your palate, for my palate here in particular. I really like the Cortona Syrahs a lot. The Vino Nobiles are, they're bigger, rounder. The Syrahs are really good. So, thank you. Grazie mille.
Thank you very much to you.
Back in the village of Montepulciano, I stopped by Cantina Gattavecchi. This is one of the old school producers in the region. The winery and osteria is in an old monastery.
I feel like having a real Italian meal day. Got my appetizer, my pasta, my secondi, my second plate. Something about tomatoes in Italian cuisine. Peachy is the local pasta here, but the taglioni on the menu said it was handmade, so I want to taste it with some wild boar. Got to eat the boar to keep them out of the vineyards, huh? Doing my part. I never get sick of eating pasta in Italy. Oh, a little bit of a problem for my weight.
Luca, the owner and winemaker at Gattavecchi, joins me for lunch.
With these kind of labels in Italy, either sometimes you get scared or you're really pleasantly surprised. It hasn't changed since when? Since
From 75 years is the same label.
Now time for my secondi, and it goes great with Gattavecchi's Vino Nobiles, which are slightly rustic in a good way.
I can never get enough eggplant when I'm in Tuscany. I'm glad in the world of, especially Italian wine in Tuscany, where wine is modernized quite a bit in the last 20 years, that you still can have these traditional flavors, these traditional tasting wines.
95% of Sangiovese with 4% of Canaiolo Nero and 1% of Colorino Toscano.
The wine is like really just traditional, leathery, savory. I think this is to me why I fell in love with Italian wine in the first place.
The Vino Nobile Reserva is excellent.
100% Sangiovese, which means I should love it. 2016, great year in Tuscany, right?
Yes.
I love the smell on this wine a lot already. It's leathery, tobacco, sour cherry. Oh, just a classic Italian wine.
Yes.
Really good.
The name Riserva dei Padri Serviti is dedicated to the religious. It was the monastery.
Oh, yes, it's connected to the monastery.
Yes, that Santa Maria di Servi is the church, one of more ancient church in Montepulciano.
Okay.
Founded in 1262, and they produce wine, the wine.
In the monastery, yeah.
Time for cheese.
This is aged pecorino.
Oh, you aged this yourself? Yes. 60 months in the cellar. It goes great with Vinsanto.
The aged pecorino and the Vinsanto is the best pairing. Nutty, complex. Why do you love Vino Nobile so much?
I'm born in Montepulciano and my first taste of wine is with Vino Nobile, and I think that is really one of more traditional wine in Toscana. The taste of Vino Nobile represents with the Chianti Classico maybe the more authentic Toscana taste. I think that in the identity of a good Vino Nobile there is one of the best expression Sangiovese.
Just outside Montepulciano, Boscarelli takes it home for me. It's owned by brothers Luca and Niccolo Ferrari, and they are currently going through the harvest.
50 to 60%, yes.
This is
Sangiovese.
Okay.
To make great wine, you need to select only the best grapes, which is what Luca intends to do.
The philosophy of Boscarelli is to make the best possible Vino Nobile, working with the Sangiovese grape that in this area is called Brunello Gentile.
I love these wines, but it's my first time visiting the winery. It's a little surreal that I'm here with Luca and Niccolo. They take me through the vineyards and then into the winery, where Luca explains how Boscarelli runs the cellar.
We age separate each fermentation.
Yeah.
For 1 year, 1 year and a half almost.
This may look humble, but it's one of Montepulciano's most revered wineries. In the tasting room, Niccolo starts me off with a Rosso di Montepulciano and Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Lucky me.
It's still just really pretty. It's just the type of grape I want to drink every single day. It's juicy enough to enjoy on a hot summer day if you don't want to drink white wine, or you can have it with food.
It's clean, has a good acidity, is soft.
Sangiovese, when really done well, just got this beautiful leather, cedar, sour cherry flavors.
I could stay here all day.
At the beginning, the denomination was the most important thing for us. And our name was just a small one. Then we see that was not correct.
I'm biased, of course, because I love these wines so much, but I think that the Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is one of the best values here in Tuscany. If you want a nice blend of wine that you can drink, but you want something a little bit more serious, maybe 2 of the 3 greatest Vino Nobiles, just in my humble opinion. Costa Grande, Puccia di Sopra, Avignonesi. This is really the type of wine that it's got enough fruit without being so big or jammy, but it's full-bodied. So much complexity, and the tannins, it's so structured.
They surprised me with a vertical tasting of their top wine from 2010, 2004, and the first vintage, 1991.
Il Noccio, the wine that you're most proud of?
Yes. Yes. It's the wine where we try to explain what the Sangiovese could do at Montepulciano.
If you watch the channel, you know that I'm disappointed with old wines a lot. But when you catch the right bottle at the right moment and the right time, the 91 is... it shows why Sangiovese can make such a great wine. Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing how long-lasting can be 100% of Sangiovese coming from a special vineyard with a special environment.
I taste thousands of wines annually, and the 1991 Il Noccio is one of the most memorable bottles I've had in recent years.
So also in the Noccio we have planted grape selected in Montalcino.
Oh yeah, we have collaboration. We have collaboration with Montalcino, with Chianti.
By you showing me some of these old Il Noccio, this really shows that Nobile, I mean, it was historically a great appellation. The future is so bright because you can produce great wines here, great wines.
I don't know what it is, but great Sangiovese gets my heart racing. And fortunately, I tracked down some stellar examples on this trip. The good news is, my time in Tuscany isn't up. There's more coming on Sangiovese. Stay tuned to the channel for more.